For years, every extra dollar I made went into one dream: a 1969 Ford Mustang Fastback, midnight black with cherry red leather seats. It wasn't just about the car. It was about what it meant: freedom, independence, a promise to myself that someday I'd escape the weight of being the responsible daughter, the one who never asked for anything, the one who cleaned up everyone else's mess. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. I grew up in a house where being the eldest meant being the family's safety net. My parents leaned on me emotionally and financially for everything, from helping raise my younger sister Lila to working 2 part-time jobs in high school to contribute to groceries. Lila, on the other hand, was the creative spirit. That's what they called her when she dropped out of college for the 3rd time, when she moved to LA to find herself and started an online candle business that burned through more money than it made. I never said much. I stayed quiet when my parents paid her rent for 2 years. I stayed quiet when they sold my childhood piano to fund her art therapy. I stayed quiet even when she once stole my credit card for a weekend trip and my mom told me, "Sweetheart, she's just stressed." But I was done being quiet. Over the years, I had been quietly setting aside money, not in a bank account, not online, but in cash. A little here, a little there, some tucked in envelopes, some in a locked case. I wanted the car. I wanted it outright. No loan, no cosigner, no begging. And when the total finally reached $200,000, I was ready to buy the custom model from a restoration shop in New Mexico. The waiting list was long, the car was rare, but I had my name next in line. All they needed was the deposit. There was just one issue. The money was stored at my parents' house, in a fireproof safe in the guest room closet. The room used to be mine, but after I moved into my small apartment in the city, they converted it for storage. I had trusted them. I told my mom, "It's temporary, just until I finish my lease and finalize the deal." She had nodded, smiled sweetly, and said, "Of course, honey. We're family. Who else would you trust more than your own mother?" That night, I sat in my apartment, excited and nervous. I'd booked a flight to New Mexico to make the down payment in person the next afternoon. I had even taken the day off work. I messaged my mom just before midnight. Me. "Hey, heading to pick up the cash tomorrow morning. Car is waiting. Big day." Mom. Read at 12:03 a.m. No reply. The next morning, I arrived at the house at 9 a.m. The door was open. The kitchen was a mess. Dishes in the sink, trash bag torn open on the floor. And the guest room? Empty. The bed was gone. The closet was cleared out. The safe, the one I'd purchased with my own money, the one with the custom code, was ripped out of the wall. I froze, called her, straight to voicemail, called again and again. No answer. I called my dad next. His phone rang, then finally picked up. "Hey, Pumpkin," he said with casual indifference. "What's up?" "Where's Mom?" I asked, breathless. "Oh, she went out for a few days. Spa trip with Lila. You know how they are." I stared at the shredded carpet where the safe used to be. "A spa trip? With what money?" Long pause. Then he said it. Soft, guilt-laced, almost rehearsed. "Look, your mom said you weren't really using it, and Lila had a meltdown. She needed something to feel better. We thought maybe it would be a good time to help her out." My jaw tightened. "You what?" He sighed. "It's just money, honey. You're always earning. But Lila, she's delicate. She really needed this. And your mom said you'd understand." I hung up. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just sat on the floor where my safe had been, breathing, thinking, number. They took everything. Everything I had worked for, without asking, without warning. But what they didn't know, what they never thought to ask, was that the real safe wasn't in that room. The real safe was in my apartment, and what I'd left in their house was something very, very different. Something I'd prepared, just in case the worst version of them showed up. And now, it was showtime. The morning after they vanished with the safe, I didn't go to the police. I didn't call a lawyer. I didn't even cry, because I had been planning for this moment for months. You see, When someone lies to you over and over, when your mother uses your kindness like a doormat, when your family sees you not as a daughter but a backup plan, you stop giving trust. You start building protection. The safe they took, it looked heavy and real, but it was hollow. What was inside? Stacks of fake bills. On top, a single envelope. Inside it, a letter handwritten by me 6 months ago. Dear Mom, if you're reading this, then congratulations. You finally did it. You proved you'd take from your own daughter. I knew this was coming. That's why this safe only holds 2 things. Worthless prop money, a tiny GPS tracker buried in the lining. And yes, the real cash, that was safe, stored in a secure facility under my name, across town, with dual authentication and biometric lock. I wasn't stupid. What my mom had stolen was bait. By 2 p.m. that day, the tracker showed she was in a resort town 3 hours north, Aspen Ridge, the same one Lila had tagged on Instagram just last week with, "Healing, blessed, no, deserve it." They thought I'd fall apart. Instead, I made a call. To Detective Rachel Klein, a woman I'd met during a financial fraud seminar at my job 6 months ago. She had told me, "If you ever deal with family theft or financial manipulation, call me. We get more cases like that than you think." I sent her the note, the photo of the destroyed closet, the tracker pings, and the screenshots of my father confessing that "we thought you'd understand." By that evening, I was sipping coffee while 2 uniformed officers visited my parents' hotel room and found my mom with a suitcase full of fake bills in the empty safe. Lila naturally was sobbing. "We thought it was your spare money," my mom reportedly yelled as they questioned her. "It's just paper," Lila screamed, holding up the letter I'd left behind. "She tricked us." They weren't arrested, but they were publicly shamed. A fraud alert went on their financial records. And my mom? She was banned from the spa chain indefinitely after attempting to use fake bills to pay for treatments. But that wasn't enough for me. I wanted them to feel what they made me feel. Small, dismissed, taken for granted. So I did something bigger. I took that $200,000, the real money, and instead of buying the Mustang, I launched a business, a consulting firm for women who had been financially manipulated by their own families. Within 3 months, I had clients. Within 6, I had testimonials. And my favorite? The daughter of a woman who watched me speak at a conference and said, "I thought I was the only one whose mother thought she owned me." But the real justice came quietly. A letter from my mom. Weeks after. "Dear Danielle, I don't know who you've become. This vindictive, cold woman. You embarrassed us, ruined our names. And all because of a misunderstanding. We raised you better than this." I replied with a photo of my new office. The frame on the wall? A printout of the GPS tracker map, labeled, "The day they proved me right." And under that, the phrase, "She didn't lose money. She lost people who were never hers to begin with." Months passed. My parents tried to rewrite the narrative. They told extended family I had set them up, that I had tricked them with the safe, as if theft was forgivable if the treasure turned out to be fake. Lila posted vague quotes online. "Some sisters are snakes in human skin. God sees everything, even betrayal disguised as justice." But I didn't respond. I had outgrown the urge to explain myself to people who decided long ago that I was expendable. Instead, I kept building. The women I worked with, clients who were ignored, manipulated, robbed, and shamed by their own families, became my fuel. Each session we held became a thread in the tapestry of my healing. But poetic justice wasn't done. One afternoon, I got a call from a local real estate broker who said, "Danielle, the house your parents live in? It's been listed for foreclosure. Word is, they missed months of payments. Seems like their reputation got around. No one wants to hire them. Some say even Lila's been turned down for brand deals ever since her mom's name showed up on the fraud registry." I didn't smile. I didn't laugh. I just nodded. Because karma doesn't need celebration. It just needs patience. Still, I made one final move. On the day their house went up for public auction, I quietly placed a bid, not to own it, but to fund the nonprofit I had partnered with. Daughters Without Debt, a safe house and startup incubator for women displaced or stolen from by family members. The organization won the bid. The old house, my childhood home, was transformed. The walls were repainted, the locks replaced. The pink bedroom I once shared with Lila? Now, a calm reading room for young mothers. The dining room where my mom once told me I was too selfish to be loved, it became a resource space filled with books on financial literacy, legal defense, and self-worth. I never set foot in the house again, but I stood across the street one morning and watched as a young woman and her toddler entered the home, backpacks full, tears in her eyes. That was the closure I never knew I needed. My phone buzzed. It was a message from Lila. "We lost everything because of you. Are you happy now?" I didn't reply. Instead, I posted a photo of the house with the new plaque out front. This space exists because one daughter chose to break the cycle. And that was the end. Not of the pain, but of the silence. Not of the story, but of their control. Because I didn't just lose a family, I reclaimed a future, and I finally bought that dream car. Not as revenge, but as a celebration of the woman who refused to be robbed again. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this